Okay, kids, so we have a new moon tonight, and it's also an annular solar eclipse, meaning from the right places you'll be able to see like a ring of fire around the dark moon tonight. And that's all happening in the sign of Libra. So the new moon is traditionally a time when we look at planting new seeds and manifesting. The eclipse puts it on a whole nother level of power and energy. And one of the things that this annular eclipse does is to highlight the dark moon. And I can almost see a vision of like whatever's been hiding in the dark of the moon, that ring of fire is going to show up and make clear. So I've done 5 card positions here that I think would be helpful. Position 1 is what the message of this new moon eclipse is for us. Position 2, what needs to be balanced because it's happening in the sign of Libra. Position 3, what has been hiding in the shadows. Position 4, what seeds to be planting now. And position 5, the mood in which to carry out is the advice that the cards give us. Some people call it the key card. So generally speaking, it's focusing on new beginnings, relationships, balance and harmony. So that's what Libra is all about, and the new moon. So the first position, the message of the moon, is the 6 of coins reversed. This card is about giving and receiving. So it's assistance from others, and it's also giving help to others. So we're being asked to focus on the power dynamics of our relationships. Are our relationships transactional in nature? Do you have expectations when you give? Do you feel like when you receive there's expectations attached to it? Could be guilt trips, or the idea that someone's going to give you back from what you've given to them. It's also about power relationships, so your feelings of insecurity or superiority in your relationships with others. So what is your self-value? Feeling and acknowledge your own competence, and tuning back into the fact that you are a competent and independent being, obviously to whatever extent that you actually physically are that. And no, not all of us, some of us need more help than others, but it's about focusing on how those relationships take place, where you put yourself in the hierarchy, and the mood and the feelings with which those transactions take place. Coming to a place of security within yourself, where you don't need to have those power dynamics going on within the relationships. Focusing on competence and independence. Position 2, what needs balancing under this moon? So we have the Emperor reversed. So without trying to exert control over others or boss them around in any way, because this Emperor when reversed can be a little bit bossy like that, don't follow or remain passive. Take the lead and take charge, but establish your parameters and your boundaries. Make sure that you are not loading your communications with feelings that don't belong there. So don't try to control others. Do what you say you are going to, or be honest and say that you don't want to do it, Don't play the hard done by victim card. Just be very clear in saying, no, this is where my boundaries lie. Further than that, I don't go. I don't want to do. Don't manipulate in order to get what you want, and don't try and boss and intimidate people into doing what you want either. The confidence and the competence that issues that we saw in the Six of Coins reversed, the power dynamics are still very much present in this one. So just, you can do this. Believe in yourself. You don't need to play games in order to have what you want. The cards are kind of all saying this in a way. So one after the other, it's almost as if there's just one really strong message, which is about taking the lead, being self-reliant, but also acknowledging the fact that, like Libra, our whole lives are relationships, and our whole lives are in communication, interdependent. So this new moon seems to be about balancing all of that and getting our relationships really, really healthy, honest and positive. And that means, to a certain degree, stepping up. And that is what this King of Wands, who's been lurking in the shadows, that's his message. To step into your power. Even if you've failed 100 times, you've only been refining your approach. Try again. Watch that film, Naiad, with the swim to Cuba, and how many times Naiad failed to make that attempt. Every single time it became more and more clear, oh, we need to put this in place, we need to put that in place, we need to make these plans, we need to have this kind of help. And in the end, when she got the formula right, she managed to make the swim. So connect with your inner powers of leadership and creativity, and make sure that you are shaping things in the right direction. But don't accept the fact that just because things haven't always worked out for you in the past, that they won't do in the future. If you don't keep trying, you will never get there. Try writing a list of all the achievements that you've made so far. All the times that you've gone further, done better, reached higher than you thought you could. To let this king step out of the shadows, and his dynamic and confident energy will pour out of you. New opportunities that are coming in now do require you to really step up. So once again, we see that balancing act of our own personal power and how we enact that within the world, that we have to step into our personal power, which can be very challenging, and wield it conscientiously and honestly. Position 4 is what seeds to be planted during this eclipse and new moon. So we have the Fool reversed. The seeds of like a whole new outlook on life, a whole new life really, are ready to be planted right now, tonight. But fear is assailing you, and fear is holding you back. Will this project work out? Will you end up looking foolish? How on earth will you learn everything you need to know to do this new life that's coming your way? Have you got the skills? Have you got the abilities? Everyone suffers from this imposter syndrome. Everyone suffers from the idea that when they start something new and they don't know exactly perfectly how to do it straight away, they're going to fall and they're going to end up looking foolish. Take care of yourself, be brave, and step out. This is a big one. This is a big change. There's a lot going on right now, as we can all see. So it's not about being rash and jumping into the unknown or being totally unprepared. definitely do take care of yourself and prepare your journey as much as you possibly can. But the feeling of security that you need to connect to lies within. It's not coming from outside. And all of these guys, they are all already telling you that everything you need, power-wise, impetus-wise, responsibility and competence-wise, already lies within you. If you can connect with that in an authentic way, then you don't need to worry about laying your power trips on people and demanding things of them that shouldn't be within those transactions. The Fool is new and fresh and innocent and naive, and that is one of the beautiful things about the Fool, and that is why the Fool doesn't fail, because even though he doesn't really look before he leaps, and I'm totally not advising you to not look before you leap, his innocence carries him through, and his naivety and his authenticity makes him so endearing to everybody else that they don't mind helping you out. They'll probably be inspired by you and want to genuinely give from their heart. Position 5 is the key or the mood. The Page of Swords, it's our only upright card in this spread. Don't defend old wounds so strongly that nothing new or fresh can get through to you. Yes, you have been hurt. We have all been hurt. But you can allow yourself to be seen again. You can lower the sword. This is the most impossible time when the cow can jump over the moon. This sort of moment doesn't come along very often. Feedback from others is essential to your progress, so don't be defensive about it. Be grateful. When you put your new things out there and when you behave in your new competent way, you may well run up against some criticism. You may make mistakes and have people have to put you right. We've been talking about this, so how you don't actually know everything, but that's absolutely fine. If you're super defensive because of things that happened to you in the past, criticisms that you took in the past that you felt were unfair or that really struck you to the heart, as they can lodge there for decades and decades and actually prevent you from taking on board constructive criticism that's going to help you to move forwards. People are teaching you how to market yourself better, communicate your ideas better and work more effectively. So stay open to that. Ask questions, be curious, contribute to conversations. The Swords is all about communication, and the butterflies on these cards always represent the ability to transform completely and utterly from one form to another. That's the magic of the Swords. They just simply slice through everything that was there before. Don't start fights or try to prove how clever you are. This whole spread is about power dynamics, balancing those power dynamics out. So don't be arrogant, like this chap looks rather arrogant, almost as if he's saying, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough, sort of thing. But I think, I really want to just turn the Fool upside down so that we can see. I think in this deck, the Fool actually looks like a woman to me. And in amongst all this incredibly masculine energy, this is perhaps what you need to go with. This innocence and this freshness. The past is gone. No time in the history that I can remember of my life in 50 years has there been so much opportunity for us to really wake up and transform our dynamics of our relationships and how we act within them, how we make happen the things that we want happen. You do that by using your own personal power, but you do not try to inflict your personal power on anybody else, and you don't try to play the victim to try and get them to exert their power for you. This is a lesson I think the whole world probably needs to learn right now. So yeah, I would say that if you got the time, it would be a great practice for you to spend some time this evening writing down a list of all the things in your life that you're really proud of that you've accomplished so far. And you could go on to write things down that you also dream of accomplishing, and maybe set yourself a target of completing at least one of those things before the end of the year. Hope you've enjoyed this reading, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks for another longer form reading at the next full moon. And happy eclipse. Do enjoy it, and see you on the other side.